let's start then. So I'd like to ask you how you became acquainted with Internews at the beginning, and why you decided to work with them.
Okay. That's very easy. I grew up in Armenia, in Yerevan, in a very intelligent family. My father was theater director, my mother was math teacher, and it was very free, flexible, I will say, family. And after when I graduated the school and university in Armenia, I got married with Russian guy. Why it's important? During the Soviet time, is it understandable, my English?
Yes? Perfectly.
Okay. During the Soviet time, there was something which called propiska.
Yes, I know it, yeah.
And the citizen of Armenia will be very difficult to move to Moscow. Yeah. Even I dream about Moscow. And in 74, I met one Russian guy who we love each other, and he proposed me marriage. And in 74, I was married this Russian. He was engineer and moved to Moscow. And I was absolutely happy. And my husband always joked, I don't know why you married me, because of my Moskovskaya propiska or because you love me in general. And because I grow up in artistic family, I start to work in theater. It was my dream. And since 98, I got son, stay at home, 74, 75, 77. And then I find the job in the best Moscow theater in that time. It was really the best. The director who ran this theater was very famous. He even during the Soviet time, he came to US and do something in American theater. He was genius, exactly genius. And if we knows three most famous Russian director in 70s, 80s, it was him. His name is Anatoly Efros. But that's not the story. In late 80s, he was died. And I used to work as a manager. My responsibility will organize the travel, ticket, all the promotion, all these type of things. And I was happy because I sell the ticket, close my office, and go up to the stage and look, watch all the piece what we did. It was very interesting. But when he was died, it was not interesting for me at all work to theater anymore, because I was thinking I don't like these new directors, new things, новые пьесы, которые они ставят, новые спектакли. Мне не интересно.
Как называется театр? What was the name?
Театр на Малой Бронной. И вот когда Эфрос умер, я думала, куда пойти работать. Куда? Я не понимала. И так случилось, что мне предложили работу в одном из первых российских NGO, called Фонд защиты гласности. Гласность Defense Foundation. Гласность Defense Foundation was started by Russian cinematographers after the, I don't know what you know about that, when the first anti-Soviet demonstration came out in Latvia and Litva. At that time, the journalism not show the truth, and the Russian cinematographers think, okay, we have to push the journalist, tell truth, organize the strike, and not work for the Soviet television. It was very romantic idea. They did this foundation to help that journalist who would like to leave the state-owned media and somehow survive until the freedom. And I started to work in this foundation as a first director. I registered this foundation. It was one of the first Russian NGO, and I worked about probably a year. And then this Russian Glasnost Defense Foundation, together with the Democratic Deputat 91, it was, remember, that's the Yeltsin time, it's a time of freedom in Russia, blah, blah, blah. We organized the first Russian forum for independent media in north of Russia, in city called Novgorod Veliki. Yes.
Yeah, I've been in Novgorod.
Yes.
In Soviet time.
This conference was organized by the St. Petersburg's member of council, plus one woman who, Liz Hasse, that time she used to work for Internews in US.
Yeah, I spoke with her, yes.
And Liz Hasse came to there, and Liz helped to organize the meeting. And me, as a Glasnost Defense Foundation director, also was there. And then I first time met Liz, definitely. First time, yeah, I met Andy Storm. Andy Storm was the professor who teach in Berkeley University journalism. And he was the teacher for Liz Hasse. And Liz invited him to come to Novgorod. And because of Andy Storm used to have lots of miles, frequent miles,
right.
He also invited his two students, Vince Malmgren, and the name of the second, I don't remember. At first time, I met these four Americans who was in Novgorod Veliki.
Right.
And these people recognize, oh, there is new media in Soviet Union.
Yeah.
There are independent media, because we passed two excellent law about mass media, which give rights to Russian citizens organize private media, private media. Before
when was this? 92?
91 or 90 even. The law was before the conference.
These were Soviet laws.
Soviet, yes, Soviet law about the independent media. Before that, we have only government-owned media, not at all, and not so many of them. It was the 3 TV channels and something like that, and all the newspaper belongs to the government, everything. But then this new law opened the door. And lots of new media start to grow up very fast, immediately. And after probably 1.5 years, the Novgorod, we found about 500 TV stations who was organized in, and 200 representatives from this. It was even Soviet Union, because how to say, it was November after the Belovezhskaya, but we still feel we are one country. And there was Ukrainians, Kazakh, Belarusian people from everywhere. The start of this Internews people, Liz Hasse, Andy Storm, Vince, came back, talk with the David, because David, before that, David Hoffman and Kim Spencer was many times in Russia, as you know, in Soviet Union, because of the space bridges.
Because of the space bridge, yeah.
Yes. And they have a lots of interest to Soviet Union, and they feel the new media can kill the Cold War. And it, because of all these things, it was very good time. David, Kim, Evelyn Messinger, who used to work as the advisor for the Soros Foundation, Open Society Foundation, Evelyn, the Kim's wife. You talked with Evelyn?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All these people was really interesting to Soviet Union. And they recognized, oh, Liz Hasse came from the, Andy Stern came from the, how to say, from Soviet Union, and there is an independent state media. That's our time. What we can do, we can teach people how to do the private media.
Yeah.
In the meantime, there was, how to say, USAID.
Right.
And Soros Foundation published the first, I will say, the announcement about grants, and told them, hey guys, who wants to work with the new Soviet media? come to us with our proposal. And the first 500,000 was done by to Internews by Soros Foundation. And immediately after a few months after that, the USAID grant Internews the big grant, which called Independent TV in former Soviet Union. Even that time, it was not for Russia, only Russia. It was for former Soviet Union.
Right.
And the Internews start thinking how to organize the office in Moscow.
Right.
And because of that, they hire few people, Eric Johnson, Vince Malmgren, the Paul Greenberg. You know everyone. Yes,
right.
This guy was the first employees. And they need someone who from local person. And because I was one of the organizers of this Novgorod conference, they saw me, they see I'm taking care about ticket, about train ticket, about
right.
The food, lunch, blah, blah, blah. I'm always flying around. They came to the, David Hoffman that time came to the Moscow, and he came to the our Glasnost Defense president, which was Alexei Simonov. He is still president of Glasnost Defense Foundation, Alexei Simonov, and asked him, can you give us Manana to work for Internews? And for that time, in 91, my husband was very unexpectedly died.
Oh.
And I still alone with my son, who was teenager, 15 years old, very strange, I will say, very, not strange, but very opasny возраст, what you call that.
Yeah.
Yes, alone, with very small salary. My family, my mother is still in Moscow. I am alone in Moscow with my son, my husband used to have brothers, blah, 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 but the family was really in Armenia, and I was more or less alone.
Right.
And my salary was really very low. And when they talked with Alexei Simonov and told them, we would like to hire Manana, and we're going to offer your very good salary, $300 the dollars. In 91, $300 was the salary which can survive me, because I used to get probably about maybe $30 salary, not 300.
Yeah.
I was thinking, and I would like to leave the theater. I would like to get the salary to survive. And it was very interesting. I saw the Vince, Paul, everyone in Novgorod. I like these guys. And I would like to go. But Simonov told, no, she's just working 1 year. I think it's not good. And they try to joke, and they say, David Hoffman tell the Simonov, I will grant you the good new Macintosh, big Macintosh, computer Macintosh.
Right. Yeah.
This time they start to joke. Who was the bestseller or the buyer, David or the say? And I start to work with Internews as a some sort of administrator, training coordinator, because Internews was thinking we have to organize the training.
Right. And what was the content of this training? What were they training?
I will come to that. And definitely they start to, context was start with the journalism. What is independent news? What is the balance for journalism? What is the, how to say, the journalistic ethical standard? These type of seminars. And how to produce, we start to work especially with television. And the first 3 seminars was how to produce news for TV. And our teacher was Andy Storm, who came again from the Berkeley, Bruce Canover, who was the head of the CNN bureau in Moscow that time and speaks very good Russian, another 2 different journalists, and we get, because we have this Soros, how to say, grant, we bought equipment. We bought equipment who will be enough to have 3 different groups who shoot and edit video. And with this equipment, we travel from, first seminar was in Kharkov in Ukraine. Second seminar was the, how to say, in Almaty, And the third seminar was in, in Orel. It's a city near the Moscow. And then after these 3 seminars, we collect in Moscow the best students from these 3 seminars, which means these people, first time in their life, see the good high-8 camera. They can shoot. They have this Betacam or the high-8 editing suite, which is really big, the magnetophone, how to say that? Anyway, we put about few 100-kilo equipment from the city to city to teach people how to work on real equipment. Because for that, what is the independent TV in 91, 92, even in 93? This was 2-3 young guy who decide, okay, we can get the license, and the getting license was very easy. You just send letter and get license. Then they even get the, credit from bank, or credit from the, rich people, or spend their own money, and they buy the transmitter and 2 VCA magnetophone.
Recording decks or what?
Not recording, even recording and the transmit.
Right.
And they buy lots of tape from the pirate, the lots of pirate kiosk.
Yeah.
A lot of kiosks sell this thrillers, all this the American, French, Japanese movie for the definitely pirately, definitely. There is no way Russian independent TV grow up on the private the pirate video. Buy this the tape in the kiosk, put to the transmitter, and people sitting in their house can see there is the let's say I don't remember the movies in this year, but it was definitely golden production for the golden anyway, all American all the famous American movie we watched by this the pirate the TV channels, and then more or less smart people recognize, okay, I can't only show the broadcast movie. People interesting the local information. It will be very good to produce some sort of local news. But how to produce local news? They have no idea, and it was very, very, very low quality news. But they recognize people watching that. They're interesting. When this the main street will be destroyed to do the new asphalt, or when there will be no hot water in our neighborhood, or who will come to blah blah blah. This type of hyper local news was very interesting for these people, and we came the exactly good time. We find that the TV station owners who would like to start to produce their own local news, and we start with all the first seminar was the about the how to produce news. Then when we after 1 year this type of seminars, we recognize, okay guys, it's not only producing the news, it's also about how to manage private TV company. What is the management? What is the HR? What is the how to get money? Okay, we get the first credit, but we spend all money. How are we going to survive? We know there is something called advertising. Right. I would say in end of 92, probably in the beginning of 93, we put equal efforts to seminar about journalism and seminar about TV management. What is the management? How to manage TV station? At that time, we was absolutely lucky. Our donor was happy with that, because right now when we talk about management, they're talking, oh, these people, we did so many seminars during this 20 years about management. Why we need to spend money to teach businessmen how to do the business? Right now, it's not very popular topic for the seminar, but in beginning of 90s, it was really very important. And we invite, as a teacher, practical seminar. In our first seminar, there was the Meg Gajdozik, who was the Meg Gajdozik. After that, she became as a worker for USAID, and her role is absolutely enormous. And I would like you to definitely speak with Meg, because this is exactly about business. Spencer, David Hoffman, they are not about business. They're about freedom of expression, they're about Cold War, they're about international relationship, but about typical business. What is the business, TV business in former Soviet Union? It's Meg Gajdozik, who that time she was the chief CFO, CEO, chief operating officer in TV station in Fairbanks, Alaska. Then she invited the guy who his name was Robert Campbell. He was from Albuquerque, but I don't know the name of the station, what he used to run. And a few other the people who came and we invite not the journalists from this TV station, but this owner. And these people start to teach them how to do the business. And it was very interesting. I remember when this Rob Campbell called me, hey guys, they're interesting, my advertising sheets. Can we, my company would like to send us by fax my financial document. And there was about 30 pages of his financial document who came by fax from Albuquerque, and he showed to the guys who lives from Tomsk, Vladivostok, or somewhere else. It was so interesting. And we recognize you can't do the develop media without developing the business of the media. It's not about only journalism. And after that, during many years, with Internews become to the center of the education, how to do the TV. And year by year, we recognize TV is not only news or the management. TV is advertising. Hey, why? We need the advertising department. We need the people who knows how to produce advertising. We need to teach people how to find advertisers. We need to learn how to say, ask them to put money. And we always grow to topics, our education. Advertising 1, management 1, advertising 2. The second was the how to produce not only news, but some sort of shows or other type of media, and we invite the people. Then it was, they're producing probably very interesting story, but they don't do the good design. And we start to do the seminar about design. And Lee Hunt, the American guy who was he find his association. He has right now association called Lee Hunt Association. He was the guy who created this. You remember CBS has a logo as an eye.
Yes.
Yes. He is the owner, he is the author of this. Lee Hunt came to the Moscow, teach the designer how to design different logo, blah, blah, blah. Based on his few seminars, we produced the first textbook called TV Design and Promotion. It was his seminars produced in we record his seminar, then translate into Russia, and we produced this book first in Russian. Then he took this Russian textbook and translated to English, and we have this probably his English textbook in US. TV design. Then we start to thinking, okay, guys, we teach these people how to do we also teach definitely what is the host for TV news, what is the host for entertainment program, what kind of entertainment program exists, all this type of thing. What is documentary? And definitely we start to think, this piracy is not good. Let's teach these people how to not be pirate, but become to the normal civilized relationship. And we create the project called Open Skies. And we promise that the broadcaster in all the city around Russia, small independent broadcaster around Russia, we documentary is very interesting genre, and you will produce this document. You will broadcast this documentary. It was very respectable, and we Internews promise you to give you 1 hour documentary. How to say? Очищенные права, which means it's not piracy. We have the right to broadcast.
Okay.
If you sign the contract with us, we promise you 365 hours documentary for 1 year. And about 200 TV stations signed this contract. Then we invite the guy whose name is Grisha Libergal, who is one of the best documentary producer and speaks 10 languages. And we start to work with him as an interpreter for our seminar. Then he become as a employees. Then Grisha Libergal and myself and our colleague at the US start to talk with the owners of the rights and tell the documentary film owners, guys, there is a former Soviet Union, there is a 200 TV station, they are pirate. We would like to help them to become more civilized. Can you sell the rights for the whole Soviet Union? Translation to translate your documentary into Russia and distribute about 200 cities, and they sell us. They ask about. They understand our situation. They was interested to become civilized, and they would like to fight against the piracy. And they sell us this documentary for very cheap. Very cheap, $1,000, let's say, for whole Soviet Union. This documentary.
Wow. Yeah.
And we start to buy and make a copy. And remember, it was not no internet. It is 93, 94, 95. There's no internet. You can't send the video by the satellite, something like that. It's a tape. We have to make 200 copy tapes and send to 200 cities by post or by car or by we become as a fabric to produce the VHS cassettes and send this VHS to around the Soviet Union. This program Open Skies was very interesting, and it was also start of the new, how to say, attention, new отношения to the rights owner. Then was another things we was start to. It was all this in 90, I will say, since 92 until 98, 99, when internet start to develop.
Right.
Other things which we did, it was we teach the journalist how to produce good news stories. We teach him here in Moscow or somewhere in Novgorod, but then he go back to his Siberia, and we have no idea what kind of news he produce. Is it good or is not good? Right. And we decide, let's organize something which we called обмен, exchange, yes. And we decide to produce the program which called News Local Time. How it works? About 100 about 50 in the beginning and about 200 in the end. 4 years, every week, they send one news story from their own company. Sent again by tape, and then we rent the satellite channel from the Russian the Soviet government television in Russia. During the night time, they give us some time to transmit the stories to the Moscow. We receive all this news. We receive, let's say, about 20, 50, 60, sometimes 60 stories. Then from these 60 stories, we produce the program, news program, which was about probably 10, 12 stories, the best story from the different station.
Right.
The host edit and send back. Okay, I am participate this news local time program. I send one story by week, and I get one program, half an hour program with very good quality from the news from around the Soviet Union to broadcast on my station.
Right.
Very,
Again, by a videotape, you receive a
yes,
tape and
yes.
you
We put the,
broadcast.
we
Yeah.
pay first the year, and then when we rent this transmitter equipment from the Soviet Union, we just transmit by satellite, and they receive and the broadcast, receive and broadcast.
Ah, okay.
Another the step to develop this media business, but it's not that's only that. And these years we also recognize when I am the owner of TV media channels, and I go to for the get advertising from my local, let's say, drugstore, or my local the buloshnaya, when they sell the bread. Yes,
Right.
it's okay. I can ask them about 100 rubles and put the address for his buloshnaya on my TV at the screen, but it's not enough to have real money. And I would like to get big budgets, and big budget exists only in Moscow. In my city, we don't have too many big budget advertiser who ready to pay lots of money. And then they decide, okay, if I have owner of TV station, even in Yekaterinburg, who is the third biggest city in Russia. Anyway, my viewer is not enough to be attractive for the big business. It will be interesting to try to organize somehow union of the TV station. In that time, we already used to organize the how to say that? I'm sorry, I even association of the Russian head of advertisements department for Russian TV channels. Let's say I am the head of advertisers department in Yekaterinburg, another head of advertisements department in Novgorod, in the Orel, in some blah blah, and they all together become for our seminars, and how some sort of exchange the information, how to work with advertiser. And they think, okay, if we come together to the big advertisers, probably we can get a lot of money. For that reason, after one of the seminars about management, few TV managers decide, hey guys, let's think how we can organize some sort of TV network. What is the TV network? Network is the something which exists in US, CBS, HBC, blah, blah, blah. And how it works. They are the independent station in each American city, but they then have special program which belongs to network. CBS produce Oprah Winfrey Show, which is Oprah Winfrey Show, sell to CBS, and CBS broadcast and this, let's say, Oprah Winfrey Show, and each independent, more or less independent channel in US, channel in Boston, channel in San Francisco, channel blah, 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 they broadcast this Oprah Winfrey Show. They are not produced that. They just broadcast because they are the member of CBS, let's say.
Right.
And the US, our guys decide, okay, let's organize our network. And they organize a network called Independent Network of Broadcasters, something like that. I can send you later on the name, acronyms, everything. Which
great.
And they signed the agreement among them. And the agreement says, okay, we're going to buy rights for, let's say, 4 hours the broadcasting for everyone, and we promise to broadcast these 4 hours. It was can be, how to say, feature films, documentary, some sort of program. We're gonna broadcast same TVs, same movies, same documentary, same everything every day, and then we become to the seller, to the advertiser in Moscow, say, guys, you have 60 cities who every day show the best American documentary and 8 p.m. in local time. We would like to offer you this audience. Can you buy our viewer? And we organize this, how to say, independent network, and make Gajdozik and Prop Campbell and other, how to say, very, very famous people who run the media in US and even came to Russia and lived there about half year, blah, blah, blah. They help us to create this independent TV network. And this independent TV network also hire two young American, Paul Mitchell and another guy, Rosenbaum, I don't remember. They become as a sailor for this independent the network. They go to Russian advertising, they go to Coca-Cola, they go to the
Mars and
McDonald's.
Procter & Gamble and all these.
You can show your advertising not only in the federal TV channels, but also in local. It's much better because there is a very good trust to local channels. And this is very good. We can also advertise not Coca-Cola in general, but we also can advertise who sell Coca-Cola in this city, put the local number there. It was very smart idea. And this NVS, Independent Broadcaster System, what this called Independent Broadcaster System. They organize about 60 big channels in the
50 cities. Channels.
Yes, 60 cities,
60,
yes.
60. And was the content mostly American? What was the content?
It was American, French, Russian. There was a lot of different. But the movie definitely, most attractive thing will also movie. And we buy the few serial from the Brazil serial, soap operas. The soap opera was very popular. It was very cheap. It was easy to broadcast and about 200 episodes. And it was long time and blah, blah, blah. And we buy for $100 per hour. And it was for all this independent. It was really cheap and it was really creative. And it was, I don't remember as of now, do you understand everything which I say?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All clear. All clear. Yeah, it's very interesting. So I don't want to interrupt you because I want to hear. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if something's not clear, I will interrupt you.
Last two things which I would like to tell you about these years. And the end of 19th, there was few other things start to grow in Soviet Russia in that time. Sorry, I am smoking. Can I smoke when I talk?
No, go ahead. That's fine. That's fine.
I'm sorry I'm smoke, but I can't. I need some drugs for. Anyway, what go on in meantime? In meantime, there was what's the name of the head of CNN? The first
Ted Turner.
Yeah, Ted Turner also would like interesting to Russia and would like to come to Russia to do the business. And he organized one of the first, probably in same time, 93 probably, or don't remember exactly, with Eduard Sagalayev, who is the one of the very famous Russian producer and rich guy. They organized this TV6 channel, which is American channel they get the license, and TV6 was the one the first real business in Russia. And this TV6 also tried to get the license for the different cities and organize these things and something like that, which means this IBS, Independent Broadcasting System, grow up in the competition with TV6, the channel who belongs to Ted Turner. And you can read a little bit about Ted Turner. Has a lots of interview about that, and you can read about that. Probably you don't need me to tell the story. That's the one. The second time, not only Ted Turner, we used to have lots of good American teacher, and lots of rich guy in Soviet Union decide, I also would like to open TV station in Moscow. And they start to open independent TV station, privately owned independent TV station in Moscow, and put the lots of money and get the broadcast license for Moscow. And but very soon they recognize, they can make good money from the Moscow-based advertisers because they have the Moscow broadcast for Moscow. but I don't have whole Soviet Union. I would like to cover all the Russia, let's say first in Russia. And they start to think how to do that. And they recognize, there are lots of local TV stations in these cities. In that time, about 98, we used to have the catalog of this TV station, and we have very good internet, the resource, and we used to have about 2,500 TV stations in all TV stations.
2,500.
In our catalog. I remember but it was even more, because if we count also newspaper, all independent media, probably was about 15,000. But only TV station, which used to be in our catalog, it was 2,500. I can show you. We even published a book about that. And these people from the Moscow think, it's very interesting. Probably I can have the agreement with some local station. And they try to hunt the local station. And in meantime, there was one of these Russian-based broadcaster called Ren TV, and she was organized a very independent woman, very brave, very, very, very smart, and she sold her apartment to organize the TV channels. Really, sell her apartment to organize this. She has very good experience to producing program in the former Soviet Union. She produced one of the best TV program called Kino Panorama. It was the show about cinema, and she knows lots of people. Everybody knows her. She was very famous. She was very brave and very independent. And she sold her excellent apartment. And her husband used to be former the dissident who left Russia, Maximov, many years ago. And but I say she was very independent.
Yeah. What was her name?
Irena Lesnevskaya. Irena Lesnevskaya. She she organized this Ren TV, because his name is Irene Lesnevskaya, Ren TV, and she broadcast only in Moscow. And because I know her personally, and I love her, and I trust her, I talked with this IBS guy. Hey, I told them, hey guys, you have license in 60 cities. She has license to Moscow. It will be very good if we can make a deal, create the real network of the channel with the broadcasting license in in Moscow, in and many cities. And I took the board of this IBS and called this Irene and say, Irene Stefanovna, I would like to bring you 5 guys who have a license in the biggest Russian city, Nizhny Novgorod, Yekaterinburg, Kazan, St. Petersburg, and Tomsk, and we would like to talk with you. And she says, oh, please come, blah, blah, blah. And we came to her, and immediately they decide to make a deal and create Ren TV NVS, and they start to work, and then it will be lots of подробности. I don't want to go too deep into. If you would like to tell about this story, we can maybe talk another time. But right now, we create this Ren TV, the MVS story, and in few years, the Ren TV and not only Ren TV. At that time, we organized something called TNT in Moscow, one channel from Moscow, STS, CTC, which is privately owned. Right now, they go through the even IPO in US, CTC channel.
CTC?
Right? Yes, CTC, you know?
Yeah. So there was a guy.
Alexander Radnyansky.
Okay. Yeah.
They really have the go to IPO. Mikhail Khodorkovsky start to buy some TV channels.
And in these years, Guzinski also had his.
Guzinski. Sorry, I forget. The biggest one was NTV.
Yeah.
Definitely the biggest one was Guzinski and NTV. And I would like to tell you, when Guzinski started to make NTV, first things what they did, it was in probably 93. One day the editor-of-chief NTV, Oleg Dobrodzeev, who is now running the government TV called Russia, RTR. This is big transformation happened with these guys. The second guy was the, how to say, Yevgeny Kiselyov, who was the journalist who right now lives in the, as you know, in Kiev. It's not Dmitry Kiselyov, not Put. There is a two Kiselyov. Yevgeny Kiselyov, Eugene Kiselyov, and Dmitry Kiselyov. Yevgeny Kiselyov, right now he is persona non grata in Russia, and he lives in the Ukraine, and he is doing his Sunday show sometime. This Yevgeny Kiselyov and Igor Maloshenko, who is chief executive director of this Gusinsky channel. Gusinsky was owner. He hired these three best guys on that time to make his TV channels. They called me and came to our office in Internews. I was shocked. There was the like stars. Why they came to me, and we just doing renovation in office. We just moved to this office. It was small room with the full of people, and these three big guys came. Everyone about 2 meters tall and blah blah blah, and famous, and everybody knows them. And they came to my office and say, "Guys, we know you are American, working with Americans. We looking for the journalists around the city. Can you help us to find good journalists in different cities to create our network of journalists? They don't want to create network of broadcaster, but they would like to create network of journalists." And I give them the lots of address, and we work with NTV very closely until Gusinsky sell NTV, and NTV become horrible channel. We was very friendly, very closely with NTV. Lots of NTV journalism teach in our seminars, all the stars. It was NTV before and after. But NTV before, it was excellent TV channels, independent TV channels, but they little bit maybe too politicized and become, as I was thinking right now about CNN. Before in the beginning, CNN was totally balanced media.
Right.
Every word was truth, because we know they truth. When this Trumpism came, all this type of things, then sometimes we see, the CNN against they not keep the balance.
Yeah.
Anymore, because they become as opinionated journalism.
Right.
And this thing also was happening in Soviet Union. And sometimes when NTV become too opinionated because they would like to support Yeltsin's people against some communists, something like that, they lose the independence, they lose the balance, and become very dangerous situation. Anyway, NTV was, and about many media today who start in early 90s. When we talk about Among Us, we always add few words. This Gazeta.ru before or this Gazeta.ru after. It's with the name still Gazeta.ru, but it's totally two different media. NTV before, it was excellent. NTV after, for me personally, I don't have this my how to say that? How do you call this?
Remote.
Remote. Yes, I don't have the channels. NTV don't exist for me at all. REN TV, which I helped to create, grow, become excellent, not exist for me anymore. It become horrible. All these things start end of 90s, beginning on 2000s, I will say, and somehow become more or less organized. The line become for different media, different year, but it's probably end of 90s, beginning of 2000, and sometimes 2003, 2005. It depends on how long the owner can keep his independence.
Right.
And it happened with the big media, and it's happened with the small media, private media, local media, the regional media, big media. All these things happen during these 2000s.
Yeah.
Because these TV channels who owns by Gusinski, the Berezovsky, how to say, the all Lesnievskaya, start to buy local media, start to pay them money, and the really buy the license, one license, two license, and in end of 2000, probably 2 or 3, we used to have, for example, 4 big networks: TV6, NTV, REN-TV, TNT, CTC, 5 big networks who either has agreement with local broadcaster or owns local media, business unit. Yes, but even that time they was more or less independent. In 2003, we used to organize the Russian-American Media Entrepreneurship Dialogue. In 2002, it was initiated by USAID, and we, if you would like to, I can send you. I just today find the very. Is it unfortunately it printed? Not the. I don't have it on because when Internews closed in Russia, they took our service. I don't have a lot of archive in my computer, but I can, for example, screen and show you this Russian-American Entrepreneurship Dialogue, which happened with the US media businessmen, and it started probably in meantime Russia with the Russian-American business dialogue. It was 2002, 2003. I don't know if you have some connection with that. Probably.
I remember that period. So yeah.
And this that was there has to be the meeting with 2 presidents.
Yeah, that's the Board Chernomyrdin Commission.
Yes. And for that, they've organized these dialogues, and Internews was one of the organizers for the media entrepreneurship dialogue. And that time, we used to have really independent media. Yeah. Even Minister of the media, Mikhail Lesin, who was killed in Washington many years ago. If probably you know this story.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, this that time we organized the conference, and he says government must to leave the media. Media has to be private. Media must to be independent. Blah blah blah. They promise lots of interesting things, but starting to now 2004, 2005, government and the oligarchs who controlled and very close to government start to buy everything. Mm-hmm. And right now we don't have independent TV on the federal regional level at all. We have independent media, I will say online media, lots of online media, very small, very poor, but online media. Right. We have one independent TV channel who broadcast the TV Rain, which is right now a very difficult situation. And we still have probably few locally owned TV channels who definitely very weak, and they for them is very difficult to survive. And most of the owners who become too rich, they sell their business to the rich people and buy the villas on the Côte d'Azur or the somewhere else. Everybody lives country, most of them, not everybody, leave the country, lives even in US, even in Europe, because they sell so well the TV stations. Yeah. They live without working as rentier for the end of their life, even not starting to do new business, because it's very difficult when you have hundreds of millions on your account and you moved from your country to the other country. It's very difficult to start making new business. As one of them told me, I don't go to school with these people. I don't go to university. They are not my friend. I don't understand them. It's much better to put the money to some investment foundation and live on the percentage of this my money. I'm not taking risk to do the new business in foreign country. Right. Most of them doing that. Yeah, that's the story about end of independent television in the in Russia. But the end of my personal story was totally different, and I don't know if you're interested on that, but independent. Two things I would like to say. Why they always say, ask Manana, ask Manana.
Right.
Until 94, we have this Internews representative office in Moscow. I used to have American director, Vince Malmgren. I used to have training coordinator, Paul Greenberg. I used to have the management program Meg Gajdozik. I used lots of Americans who work, and I also work as an administrator, as an executive, some sort of executive. But what is very good for Russians, I don't know how you feel about that, but we learn very fast.
Yes.
Always would like to take care about our business. And in 94, Russian, first of all, Vince decided to leave the country after the 3 years in Moscow. He says, I would like to go back. And to be honest, I feel very sorry, because you get, at that time my salary was about 1,000 or 500, I don't remember. But because my salary is 10 times more than yours, but you working 10 times more than me. And I feel sorry about that. I would like to recommend that you as a director. I say, oh, Vince, I can't come to I'm not working for Internews. I have just a temporary contract as a blah, blah, blah. But you know what I would like? I would like to organize our Russian Internews as a Russian organization, not as a representative office for how to say. And we start to discuss these things. Vince moved to back, and we discussed with David, blah, blah, everything with everyone. And in 97, 15 Russian citizens, plus the Persephone Mil, who used to work for Internews as a Internews network, but live in Russia, we set up the new organization called Internews Russia. We registered, we close out this representative office. We registered the Russian-owned organization, called it Internews Russia. It's exactly the was name. And I have become as a president of this organization, and I will start to work. And when the Internews network, US-based organization, get the grants, they took the grants from USAID, take part of this money for their own employees, and send the grant to us. But we start to have opportunity to apply not only the USAID or not only the US-based donor. We start to do fundraising for European organization, for Russian foundation, and we get the money from the MacArthur Foundation, we get the money from Ford Foundation, we get the money from European Endowment for European Union, we TASIS program. There's lots of European donors based there.
Right. Yeah.
And we become in the beginning of 2000, we used to be the richest, biggest Russian NGO who run by Russian citizen, who has good relationship with European donors, with European partners, because we keep name of Internews. I used to be a member of the Internews network board, and I every year go to the board meeting. I was also always joking. I am Armenian, woman, lives in Russia. I am excellent candidate as a board member. Gender, nationality. If I will be even black or Asiat, I will be forever.
Perfect. Perfect.
Many years I used to be board member for Internews Network and Internews Europe, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we organized this Internews Russia called Anno Internews, after independent organization, and we have very good board, and we have Americans in our board, we have Russian people in our board, definitely, and the donor from all of the world, and donor even from the Russian oligarchs. And the Khodorkovsky gave us the first grant, $1 million. He gave us grant. There was excellent oligarch, his name is Zimin. He gave us the grant. Anyway, the Russian oligarchs also give us money. Even sometimes the how to say TV channels which we help them grow up, they give us probably small amount of money, but they give us back as a thank you for the everything you teach us, and we become as a the biggest Russian NGO with the budget about $5 or $7 million per year, about 65 employees, full-time employees, about 200 not full-time employees, and it was the biggest. We was in charge into everything which go on in the Russia about media. I was even the government that time organized try to put the licensing process into order. They even invite me as one of the 3 independent members to this license committee, and I participate to give every month we give the lots of new license for new media, and it was big competition. The hundreds of each license probably have 10, 15 the people who would like to get this license. They pay a lot, so they try to pay me bribe, all this type of thing. It was I become so famous, you can imagine. Every year during my birthday or the 8th of March, which is the Women's Day, all our office, which was 200 square meter, was full of the flowers. Everybody sent me flowers. Everybody sent me champagne for the new year to celebrate this new year, and all our employees take 1 bottle of excellent Dom Perignon to home, because I was bright. I always tell them, guys, I'm not taking money, not bribe. Flowers, thank you, but if you'd like to help us Internews, I will be happy if you become and teach some lecture free of charge. Give your knowledge to your young generation of journalists. Don't try to bribe me. Anyway, I become very famous, and we Internews become very famous, which means we become of the very interesting for the FSB. As you understand, because American, European, the $1 million, blah blah blah. They try to follow us. They try to follow us, and try to find some reason to come and do something. And in 2007, I was in Paris, and I asked money from my friend David Eric Johnson, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I go back to Moscow with 9,000 euro in my pocket. When I go through through the customs, they say, oh, Maria Albertovna, where you came? I say, in Paris. Do you want to? I go through the green line, definitely. Do you want to put your luggage to the screen? I say, please. Take it. How much money you have? I told them I have 9,500, probably around 9,500 euro. And he immediately says, oh, you broken the law. I said, no. The law says 10,000 without declaration. And if it less than 10,000, you don't have to declare. But I have 9,000 something, which I have rubles, euro, something like that. No, you don't understand, he told me. It says about dollar, but you have euro. And at that time, 9,000 euro was more than $10,000 because the course of the euro and dollar was different. And they take our money and try to and open the crime investigation against me personally. But it was against me, and I thought, oh, sorry, I am ready to pay all the penalty. Please, money. I openly show you. I'm not hide because I don't understand. It's because I don't understand the law. Blah blah blah. I told them lots of things, but they did not listen me. And in few days after that, in our office came about 20 people from FSB and tried to took all our computer documents, everything, what it cost Guimka. And we called the lawyer came says, okay, guys, this is the private, this private person is guilty, but you can't, there is no rights according to the Russian law to took all organizational documents, computer, all these type of things. it's against of the law. It's against of the everything. But they not pay attention. They leave. Took everything and leave the office. Took the a small micro van. We put off all the servers, computer, all this type of things, and our work was paralyzed. And I become the subject of the news for the all media in former Soviet Union.
Wow.
When I Google my name by Google, I recognize about 300,000 mention of my name.
Wow.
It's a horrible thing to become of the subject of the news, about. But I was lucky because people really respect me and respect the organization. People start to protect us. There was about few documentary about myself and how good was Internews. 2,500 journalists, only journalists, not the people around the world, signed the petition to the Putin, ask them how to say she is not guilty. All the famous journalists protect me, tell the interview, lots of stuff. But this investigation still going on. We're trying to go to court and say, guys, this investigation was unfair. I am guilty. Penalty me, punish me, but don't punish organization. No one can attention. And they tried to told our lawyer, hey, we're gonna arrest her, we're gonna arrest her, we're gonna arrest her. And my employees, what we decide? We decide me to leave the country. And in 2007, I moved to Paris. Lucky enough, I used to have the visa, open visa, and we have Internews in Paris. And I moved to Paris to stay with Eric Johnson, my friend who used to live that time in Paris. They have excellent apartment. I even have the key because I always stay with him. They have 2-floor, huge apartment. His wife was very expensive lawyer. And she is very expensive lawyer. Anyway, they rich people, and I used to have my room in his apartment. I moved to Paris to stay there until everything will finish. But we're trying to finish, nothing's happened. Then our board, sometimes it was happened in probably January, if I remember correctly. Sometimes our board in Russia, we came together and me by phone, they come together to how to say, in Moscow together, my board, and we discuss a lot what to do with Internews. And we decide to close out Internews because it was very difficult that time to TV station, journalists work with us. We put them to difficult situation. If you like to communicate with us, he become immediately subject of some sort of investigation in his city. We don't need to put these people this difficult situation. And we make our own decision and close out the organization. We, based on Russian law, we have to distribute everything which belongs us to the local different organization. We give everything to local organization and pay the last money to our employees, and they start to find new jobs because they will have lots of very excellent journalists. Some of them was really very well, immediately was hired, some of them not well, but anyway. And I was still in Paris without work, without Internews, without money, without anything. And it was a very difficult time for me. Even I get support, people, everyone who come to Paris. The two documentary maker came to Paris to take interview. We produced the documentary about me. It was as I say, it was very good exam, this strange situation. In one hand, I recognize how many friends and what kind of love I have, and in the meantime, who is the real friends, who is not the real.
Yeah.
2007, when I was in Paris. That guy, we used to have Internews Europe in Paris, like organization, and he was run by guy from London. He says, you live in Paris. There is no way probably you go back to Russia. You're going to stay here. Let's us come to work for Internews Europe, even replace myself. I would like to go and write my books, and will be very good if you know Internews very well. You run your Internews Russia was bigger than Internews Europe. let's ask to hire you as a head of Internews Europe. I say, guys, I don't speak French at all. I don't speak well English. I need someone translator always, and my English for discussing right now without any I don't have grammar. I never studied English in my life. In school and university, I studied German. I speak Armenian, Russian, Georgian, little bit German, but my English was only listening. Wins, Paul Greenberg, they talk next to me, and I listen and watch some movie, and I learn myself. It's why I have no pronunciation. I don't know the grammar. I don't know how to put all the verbs in the same right way, or blah blah blah. Anyway, how I can run the European organization? They say we have people into the office who speaks very good Russian. They can help you. We're gonna hire you, and they hire me as a director of Internews Europe. And since 2008 until 2012, I ran the Internews Europe without French. I get the permission for work, blah blah blah. But then I decide, oh, I don't want. It's very difficult for me. I would like to be excellent director. If I always help to ask someone, help me understand, help me express myself, blah blah blah, it's not interesting. For that reason, I told my colleagues in Internews Europe I would like to leave, and I leave in 2012, but become as a Internews network employees, moved to Armenia, worked there 2 years as a head of the project. But during this time, I always try to apply to the different court, and finally I get the permission. I go to the many different level of the courts, regional, government, the state, the city court, the government court. Finally, I get the level when I can apply to constitutional court, which is the higher level in Soviet Union.
Right.
And I apply for this constitutional court, and for some reason, they find out me not guilty, but it happened after 2 years. You know, wow. They recognize, okay, she lives there, why we care about that? They find some reason, tell everyone she's not guilty. They give me money, my money back. My brother went to the
9,000 euros?
$9,000 back.
Yeah.
It was very funny, but at that time I used to live in Paris, and I decided to not go back. And how to say, I went back to Moscow in 2014 or 15, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Now I'm based here in Moscow as an independent advisor for Internews, and I'm working as an advisor for the Internews project in Central Asia. We have four countries there, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan. As an advisor every day, I start with Zoom, with Teams, with all these type of things, help them to find the trainers, to put the good schedule for the seminar, to organize the production competition, blah, blah, blah. And I am working for Internews, and every day I am waiting when this Russian government who accept new law about foreign
agents, yeah.
Foreign agent, when they come and tell me I am foreign agent.
You're a foreign agent, yeah.
Either I have to leave to country again, go to France, but I have rights. I still have the what we called carte de séjour, or the green card as in US.
France.
I have this carte de séjour until 2024. And I every day can apply for French citizenship, but I don't want to be. I am Russian citizen. I would very much like to go France and back and forth. Don't apply for visa, travel to all Schengen countries, blah blah blah. But this is my country, my family, my son, my grandson, my brothers, everything.
Yeah.
And this is language which I really know and can express very well, and I have a lot of respect here. It's why I still keep staying here until it will be danger. If it will be dangerous, I hope I will have a time to go back to France, at least to France.
Yeah.
That's the idea, or Armenia, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's about myself. That's about of Internews. I think it's too long.
Question 2 was, do you think that Americans had a lasting influence on Russia? Or was it a temporary influence that's, being washed away?
Okay. That's the very interesting question, because in my opinion, the attention, is it right word about отношения?
Yeah, отношения, the relationship.
Relationship. The relationship between ordinary Russian citizen and the, how to say, to US changed a lot during the different time. In the early 90s, end of 80s and the early 90s, they was thinking, the ordinary citizen, oh, American is the heaven, and everyone like to go to the heaven, and we jealousy to people who live to country and went to America, and because they get and find real democracy, real opportunity, real everything, blah, blah, blah. And everyone feel jealousy. And everyone, even during the Soviet time, they was a little bit afraid, but the Yeltsin's times, Gorbachev's times really changed that attention. But there is few things happen in meantime. After these Russian immigrants who came to make good money recognize it's not so easy, they start to criticize everything which is going on in US. They try to vote for Republicans, they try to help other immigrants. Oh, we have a right because we educated nation came to US. Why? But this Mexican come to US. They hate them. We hate the black people, Mexicans, Haitian, all these people. We are the best. We are the educated Russians. I have a university diploma, and for some reason, no one can care about my university diploma, and I'm working as a taxi driver.
Right.
As an Indian, probably a little bit like Indian people, but Indian probably more modest than Russian.
Yeah.
That's the first we start to getting some information from the Russians who live there. It's not heaven. There is a lots of problem in America. In meantime, how to say, the Americans was very, I will say, it's difficult to feel, Russians start to think, feel as a small brothers with big brothers who always teach him how to live.
Right.
And sometimes it's good, but sometimes if you are not so much respect, blah, blah, blah. And it's a little bit, I would like to, why I like so much people from Internews, I would tell you the truth. Because there was real Democrats who really criticized the US in the same level as the Soviet Union. They was against everything which is, how to say, against the freedom of expression, let's say like that.
Right.
Yes, and I trust David Hoffman, even he's American, and he teach me, because I respect him. I trust Vince Malmgren and Paul Greenberg a lot, because I know we think in same level, we have the same, the value for the many things, and we are the same. But ordinary people feel these big brothers always teach us. We are the biggest country around the world. We are more than Canada. We are bigger than anything. Why they only teach us? And it was this this tension, this the how to say, отношения was become very, very important when Putin came to the power. And they always try to keep this, why they teach us, we are the biggest country, we have oil, we have this, blah, blah, blah. And until 2010, I will say, it works, but it's not so well, because we used to be rich, and people become richer and richer. And right now, when the people become not so rich, they lose their money, they need some enemy. And right now, in my opinion, unfortunately, ordinary people think that America was guilty for everything. Not Europe, but America is guilty, because they are rich, they still rich, and they teach us how to live. Why I have to respect this Black Life Matters? It's they kill all the black people, and right now they apologizing about black people, about real Native Americans, blah blah blah. All this LGBT, all this harassment, all these things. They They try to go against our traditional value, which we, Russia nation, have such a patriotic value, blah, blah, blah. And we listened it every day from each, with even joking kids, even from the ironing things, broadcast propaganda against the foreign value, foreign thing. It's why I think the situation today, even the smart people really understand how important is America and how important is his value. But even these people who still respect and how to say, express the relationship to the harassment, to the LGBT, to the freedom of expression, to the democracy, which become as a word, bad word in Russian language.
Yeah.
These people become as an enemy. Not only Americans is enemy. We, people who respect that things, we are become as an enemy. Right. They always tell us, go to your America if you don't like this. We are leave our president, like our president, our суверенная демократия, суверенity, суверенные value, ценности. And if you are not, if you are respect them, they value, you can leave the country. We don't need you. It's why become these people very aggressively.
Yeah.
And that's why situation is so bad. And people, the fear become very spread to the people's. We start to talk, how to say, not openly. When we talk by phone, we always say, during the Soviet time, it's not telephony разговор. Let's meet and talk. We go to the kitchen, at this kitchen discussion every time. And it's start with the this 2000, and it definitely become very deep after the Crimea.
Yeah.
Crimea was the things which is divided us to the two nations.
Yeah.
And we are the less and less and less, and people who live, and people start to, young generation, either they ignore everything and they live their proud life and not care about politics, everything like that. Either they leave to the other countries, or they become as a patriot, and it's very dangerous because this patriot can take the gun or the something else. They can make the fire with the oppositions or beat them on the street, something like that. This is really very bad. And this fear to openly express yourself. Every time when I even met my friends who I know is about 40 years, who used to work in theater, I try to ask few questions and recognize what he think. Is it Crimea ours or is not ours? And because for me, it's immediately some sort of science. I don't go deep to the political question. I talk about flowers, life, kids, everything, but not about the very important question for me. This is very bad situation.
Yeah.
Is it clear what I mean? Yeah. Well, I'm not afraid. I'm really open with you.
Right.
I would like to ask you if you, after everything, would like to get some name who do the media business, who help us to do the business. If you would like to, I mentioned this name, maybe I can send you this.
Yeah, I would love it if you could do that. Yes, it would be very helpful. Yeah, yeah. Because apart from the ideological level, the impact, it seems to me, you transformed the way media business is done.
Absolutely.
You transformed it and modernized it and made it have international practice. And
it's
that
not only Internews. Yeah, I would like to be honest. It's not only Internews. It's definitely, as I say, people, Russians can learn. It's a definitely Eduard Sagalayev with Ted Turner. It definitely Gusinsky, who knows what to do the different business, and he come to do this business. It because of Alexander Radnyansky, who runs CTC, came to US and organized the production company. He would like to come the cinema producers. Roman Petrenko, who also ran the TNT network, he also moved to US and opened in Los Angeles. Many people travel, many media people go back and forth, go to the different NAB conferences, National Association of Broadcasters. They go to these different things. They have good relationship with the producers who produce documentary, feature films. All these people really changed what is the media business. And they try to do the business as a US private, good US private business,
Right.
not dirty, but the good US
Right.
business, because
Right.
we know the business in US also how can be different.
It can be different. Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Lots of people, but Internews for the regional TV station around Russia, it was the probably main source of information and main source of the help.
And that is really a lasting impact and a very important one, which is part of the story I'm trying to tell. Yeah.
I always tell the people when they ask the role of Internews, I was told them the media, independent media, will grow without us. If we are not exist, they will grow without us. They will learn how to do the private business, has the very strong the rules, and they will learn how to do the rules. But we put some sort of, when the woman make the cake, she put some special powder to cake become bigger. I always compare us with this cake powder to put the things to become bigger. I feel us as this type of the help this cake grow, go faster, better.